Happy Hanukkah, everyone. Tonight is the 8th and final night of Hanukkah. Please join me in chanting the blessings and lighting our Chanukiot. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu לחדליק נר של חנוכה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה.
Shalom, everyone. I'm sitting here with the Chanukiah of my childhood. This is the Chanukiah that I grew up with. It is sharing memories. I remember Chanukah when I was a child. I remember my grandfather, Zichrono Livracha, coming home from work. He would place his satchel in the nook beside the den in which we would light candles. Inside the satchel were the watches that he was going to work on and repair that night. I remember watching in fascination as he would take apart and repair and rebuild these intricate mechanisms, bringing these watches back to life. It was incredibly fascinating. I remember sitting there hour after hour watching him. I remember trying without success to fit the jeweler's loop into my eye, and discovered that the only way to keep it in place was by holding it with one hand, which meant doing anything else was very limited. And I sort of marveled at the facility and the dexterity that he displayed as he put these watches back together. But on Chanukah, that was set aside for later. We would wait eagerly also for my mother to return home from work. As a teacher, she found herself incredibly busy always around this time of year. School plays for class after class, decorations in the hallways, planning for school events and the like. My mother's arts and crafts skills were being put not only to the test, but were being used to the max. And as they came in, they appreciated, as I had for a while, the incredible smells that were coming wafting from the kitchen. My Baba, my grandmother of blessed memory, was truly a bustling balabusta in the kitchen. And the product was something we all eagerly awaited, our daily portion of latkes. And then there was me as a little kid. And in the shadow of this Chanukah, it watched my eagerness and my excitement as everyone came home and it was time to gather and light the Chanukah. Each night, it's familiar routine, adding a candle. And back then, even back then, our custom was to have a gift for each night, at least for the kid in the house. And I have to admit that most of the time, the gift was something I would have gotten anyway, just wrapped in decorative paper. So one night, I knew to expect a pair of pajamas. Another night would be socks. Another night would be hockey cards, a bunch of packs of hockey cards. And they would all come wrapped. And my mother would occasionally try to confuse me because, after all, pajamas are squishy and socks have a distinctive shape and are squishy. And so she would, if she had access to a box of a confusing or confounding size, into the large box would go a pair of socks or several pairs of socks. And I would open it up thinking, this is the mystery gift, the one that I'm not expecting. And lo and behold, it would be the pajamas or the socks. And it was, the mystery gift is still waiting in the wings. And that just added to anticipation and excitement. There was one box. It was square, about 12 or 14 inches square and about 6 inches high. That box was the Saturday night box because inside of it were a brand new pair of skates. And those were the skates that I would take with me when I left the house early on Sunday morning and disappear for the day onto the sheet of ice at one of the local parks. And along with my friends and with people that we made friends with along the way, we would play all day. And by the end of the day, the brand new skates were not so brand new looking. They were broken in and they were ready for a new season. And that's the way Chanukah was. Year after year, the familiar, the comfortable, and all in the shadow of this Chanukah that is sitting here with me today. In its shadow, the four of us would gather. We would kindle the Chanukah in order to be able to send its light out onto the street in front of our house. And this year, I sort of feel the same melancholy that the Chanukah itself must. Of the four that gathered in my childhood, I'm the last. And so I sort of wonder how the Chanukah must have been feeling as this holiday came closer and closer, sitting alone on the shelf after so many months since my mother's passing. I wonder if it was wondering, is this going to be the year, after so many years, that I would be unlit? And I find myself sitting in its shadow, fraught with all sorts of memories, knowing that this year I will light this Chanukah that I have not lit in decades. Many Chanukiot have been added to my life, representing different moments in my life. The oil Chanukah that came with me from Israel, the many Chanukiot that have been added during my married life and with each of our children. And yet this one seems so incredibly right for this year. And so I will light it And even as I am the last of that group of four, I'll light it this year joined by my eldest daughter, Sarah. A reminder that just as one circle closes, another circle is formed. That yesterday's light is reborn in today's flickering flames and brings with it a promise of even greater brightness tomorrow. I wish you all a Chag Chanukah Sameach, Chag Orim Sameach.
Chanukah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Chanukah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Hoy una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas no hacer, con alegrías y placer. Muchas fiestas no hacer, con alegrías y placer. Hoy una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Los pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y la miel. Los pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y la miel. Ay, una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Furot Israel otamim Nechem bechudor Yakum Magibor Goel Ham Miyem alel Furot Israel otamim Nechem bechudor Yakum Magibor Goel Ham Shmo Goyamim Ahei Batman Ozeh Makadim Moshiach Ufodeh Yameinu kol am Yisrael, Yityahed Yakum ve'Yigael. Who can tell the things that befell us? Who can count them? In every age our heroes' age came to our aid. Who can tell the things that befell us? Who can count them? In every age our heroes' age came to our aid. In days of glory in Israel ancient land, brave Arcadius led his faithful band. But now all Israel must as one arise, redeem itself through deeds and sacrifice. Miyem alel Furot Israel otam mimne, Chen bechudor Yakum Magibor Goel Ham. Furot Israel otamim Chen bechudor Yakum Magibor Goel Ham. Chanukah, Chanukah, Gag yafe kol koch, Or Haviv Misaviv, Ki laYeled רך. Sof sof sof, sof sof sof, sof sof little cradle, I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, then cradle I shall play. Oh, cradle, 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 I made it out of clay. Oh, cradle, 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 my cradle I shall play. It has a lovely body with legs so short and thin. And when it is all tired, it drops and then I win. Oh, cradle, 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 with legs so short and thin. Oh, cradle, 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 it drops and then I win. My cradle's always playful, with blocks to dance and spin. A happy game of cradle, come play it, let's begin. Oh, cradle, 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 it loves to dance and spin. Oh, cradle, 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 come play it, let's begin. ימי החנוכה, חנוכה, מקדשנו בגיל ובשמחה, ממלאים את ליבנו, לילה ויום סביב עולנו יזרום, סוף זמיות נאכל במרום, היינו הדליקו, לילות חנוכה רבים, כל הניסים ועל הנפלאות אשר קוללו המכבים, על הניסים ועל הנפלאות אשר קוללו המכבים. חנוכה וחנוכה יום תבשנה, הלוסטיגר הפרדה של ניתון לא חזוינה, alle Nacht und drehen das Spielen mir. Du die Kriegselaat gestessen schier, geschwindert sind Kinder, die Chanukah Lichterleon. Lass mir alle singen und lass mir alle springen und lass mir alle tanzen im Lohn. Und lass mir alle singen und lass mir alle springen und lass mir alle tanzen im Lohn. Oh Chanukah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Say we want to play with latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed us with light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed us with light to remind us of days long ago. Al hanisim ve'al ha'purkan ve'al ha'kurot ve'al ha'tshuvot ve'al המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הקורות ועל התשובות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הקורות ועל התשובות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הקורות ועל התשובות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הקורות ועל התשובות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הקורות ועל התשובות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו